All right, yeah, so I see someone just mentioned Matt Nass. Matt Nass played a little bit of this. Conley Woods was streaming a little bit of it as well. So basically what this deck is looking to do is get Bolas' Citadel into play, and then with various effects like Chromatic Star, Chromatic Sphere, and Relic of Progenitus, you can kind of draw through the lands that get stuck on top of your deck while making mana with things like Mox Opal and Lotus Blooms and Mox Tantalite here. And then we gain a bunch of life back with Weather the Storm, so we can play through our entire deck, gain a bunch of life, and then kill them with Aetherflux Reservoir, which is nice. One of the things that's neat is normally X spells like Reshape and Whir of Invention don't play well alongside Bolas' Citadel, but because we have all these various 0 mana artifacts, we can play these and fetch up things like Lotus Bloom and other 0 mana artifacts when we cast these with the Citadel. So the question in my mind is this deck's linear game plan fast enough to allow it to keep up with the other linear decks that exist in Modern? So that's the big question on my mind. Now, that being said, this deck is playing 4 Relic of Progenitus in the main and 3 Nihil Spellbomb, and a lot of the unfair decks in Modern right now, and in general, historically speaking, are graveyard-based combo decks. We do have 7 pieces of Graveyard Disruption in our main deck here. Which is nice. Should we have some ensnaring bridges somewhere? I don't know. Should we? Why should we? Make a discussion. What problem do you envision us having that we're fixing by adding that card? Look at this. We get to pretend we're Tron for half a second here. Cold Steel Heart. It's a little snowy on the other side of the board. Opponent perhaps doing something incredibly fair. Sakura Tribe Elder. That's an interesting one. All right, so we're going to go ahead and Whir at their end of turn, I think. It depends on if they're not a counterspell deck, we're actually gonna be okay here, right? But if they are a counterspell deck, we could be in a little bit of trouble. Cast Chemister's Insight, okay. All right, so there's a good chance we kill them next turn. If this deck is playable, they should be dead next turn. I suppose they could have Force of Negation here. We could get Force of Negated here. I'm gonna get like Spell Pierced and curl up in a little ball and cry. Here we go. Here we go again. Here we go again. Should have known, should have known, should have known again. Do 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 do. I guess I technically could have gained more here, right? I could have played this opal out of my hand. And if I end up short on hit points, it's my fault. Which I guess is theoretically possible. Oh, I should be making black mana, right? For these Nihil Spellbombs. Sacrifice this, gain 2 life. When it is put into the graveyard for the battlefield, draw a card. Deal. I think we're doing it, fam. I'm not 100% sure. I like when we get to do our thing in the first game. It's my favorite. Weather the storm. Weather the storm. Whee! Don't mind me. Oh, I technically have these floating here too still, right? When you use your draw effects to grab a Whir or Reshape off the top, so you can get something bigger than 0. Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. Sacrifice. Okay. Weather the storm, weather the storm. This deck never beats burn. I have 4 weather the storms in my main deck. What do you mean I don't beat burn? Come on now. How could I possibly lose the storm? Or to burn. I have 4 weather the storms. I'm gonna kick up my storm count here a little bit. I wish there was a resolve. Why isn't there? We need a resolve all button like we have on Arena, so I can just resolve the entire stack. Draw the Reshape and cast it from hand to get the Reservoir. Oh, this is X, right? X is based on the mana. I don't know why I thought X was based on the converted mana cost. Good call. Good call. And so it's technically optimal here to do this for X's 4. Because if they have a counter spell, I want them to counter this instead of my Aetherflux Reservoir. Poke you. This is the deck that made Reshape have a crazy price spike. It is. It is. Alright, so I assume my opponent's playing a Scape Shift deck, right? which probably means they have counter spells. I think we just bring in the defense grids. I think I cut defense grid and the spell bombs. Seems good. Or the Tormod scripts and the spell bombs. Pyrite Spellbomb's probably worse than Nihil Spellbomb. I don't think I want Leyline of Sanctity. I think I'd rather just race them. Also, if they're a Scape Shift deck, they might just not be able to beat Weather the Storm, gaining some amount of life, which is pretty funny. Of course, Sluey. Let's get that fixed right up there. Thanks for keeping me around. Is Collector Ophi good against this deck? Kinda. So, yeah. No, yeah, it is good, right? Because it shuts off our ability to draw with our things while we combo. Collector Ophi and Stony Silence don't turn off your ability to play cards, but they do stop you from activating your reservoir. So, this hand needs more lands, but I'm pretty sure it's a keep with Lotus Bloom and Relic and Defense Grid and Citadel. Like I've got a lot of cards I'm interested in casting here. Like, if I'm gonna miss my land on 2, I can cycle the Relic to get another shot at it. Ding, ding, ding. So this comes off in 2 turns. So my goal is to draw a land in the next 2 draw steps. Next turn, we have Defense Grid into play, which is nice. Merit Liege's Slumber. Oh, it scries when it comes into play. Or another snow permanent. Interesting. We do not have a backup win condition. Ain't nobody got time for backup win conditions. We played Bridgevine last week, Aaron. Deck's sweet. Has a lot of lines in it. Oh, right. Yeah, you could also technically kill them with Citadel, huh? Gosh, look at all this scry value my opponents put together. We do not have a way to reshuffle our graveyard back in. As always, you can find the deck on your screen on the Stream Decker widget, or you can type !deck in chat to get a direct link to the deck list. It does have Death Touch. It's very scary. Alright, so we're going to get to cast Bolas as Citadel next turn, so that's exciting, because I have a Lotus Bloom on Suspend. Why, Gendy? Instead of me telling you your deck, what does a game of Magic look like with this deck that I'm decking out and not winning the game? Like, how am I going through my entire deck with Weather the Storms and Aetherflux Reservoir and not killing my opponent? Yeah, we also don't have the ability to put Gaias into our graveyard like we do with the standard deck. This deck is like, I get that they're both using Bolas, the Citadel, as an engine, the standard deck in this, but like, the actual way these decks play through and win the game are fundamentally different between the standard deck and this one. And that's a mistake that Magic players make. Even experienced Magic players make that mistaken assumption very commonly. It's that just because decks share a key card doesn't mean those decks play out in the same way. This thing doesn't have haste, does it? Nope. All right. So, if we're going through, again, Gendy, just think about what we're doing and problems you're solving. If you're going through your entire deck, a lot of the time you're going to be able to kill them by double activating Bolas' Citadel. And again, like, don't think about theoretical situations. Talk about specifics. So, like, what decks in the format are you envisioning the situation you're talking about actually happening with? Why is the thing you're telling us should be a consideration worth actually considering? Gain some life. Is it turn 4 kill? It's like almost modern playable. Turn 4 kill. We're in the 0-0 bracket, Burgle. This is just lethal at this point, right? Oh, Reservoir gives you life for each spell you've cast in the turn too. I forgot about that. $2010 undefeated. Boop. Just boop, boop, yep, boop you on the nose. Boop, boop you on the nose. Getcha. I forgot Aetherflux Reservoir is self-enabling too. It gives you life for just casting spells. Pretty good. Yeah, I guess with all the graveyard hate in this main deck, maybe this isn't terrible against things like Vine. Hopefully we run into something like Dredge or Hagak. We get to see how that goes. Because our best draw definitely doesn't just race them, but the fact that we have graveyard interaction might mean that we're fast enough. You gotta quit now, can't tarnish the record, right? Jeff, winning games with fun decks, it's not how you get into the MPL. You need to start streaming something like LOL or Dota Underlords. We're gonna try Underlords later this week, Bulletproof Pope. That's supposed to be releasing on mobile sometime soon when it goes to full release, they said, so I'm probably gonna do an evening stream at some point this week and play some of that. Dota Underlords is the standalone auto chess client that Valve's working on. How many dollars for you to set the... I don't know what that means. Are you asking, like, how much for me to play... How much for me to play Nimble Mongoose? Because we did that last week and it was really bad. I mean, do you remember your game history, Bulletproof Pope? Dota 2 exists because Dota 1 was a Warcraft mod. Auto chess is just a new genre of game. It's a strategy game that involves like drafting and stuff like that. Sure, Gindy, but like what I'm saying is you're approaching including cards for the wrong reasons. Instead of thinking in the abstract, you should be thinking about specifics and talking about why something is worth doing, specifically with the details that actually exist in the format. Well, yeah, the auto chess guys are... The auto chess folks are working with someone else. Okay, so I saw some announcement that put them partnering with a different platform. Yeah, Nimble Mongoose doesn't really have the stat line to be particularly good in Modern. Now, I could get into some trouble here, but I'm going to go ahead and reshape this into a Lotus Bloom. Isn't the auto chess mobile client, though, doesn't integrate with PC, right? So I thought the Dota Underlords announcement looked like the mobile version and the PC client are going to be able to play together, which would be a big deal, right? Yeah, Mardu Pyro plays Culligan's command, so if they K-command me here, I'm probably just dead, because they'll kill my Lotus Bloom and they'll kill my Glimmervoid. Oh, that's true. I could whir into another Bloom. That's a good catch. Hey, thanks for the 23 months, Judgeinator. I appreciate that. Now, the fact that I have 2 Weather the Storms in my hand could be bad news bears for me. This is a great hit, because this gets me a Lotus Bloom, which lets me cast Weather the Storm, which means I'm less likely to brick off here. I haven't played a land yet for the turn, which is nice. Yeah, I think I'm just cycling at this point, right? Yeah, Lotus Bloom is like basically Black Lotus in this deck. It's pretty busted. Now I do want to make sure that I don't put myself into bolt range here, ideally. Ideally, I don't want to leave myself susceptible to Lightning Bolt. Huh? Oh, can I Whir for Reservoir already? If I do that, I don't have enough mana to do the other things, though, right? Maybe if I hadn't sacrificed that. So I've cast 7 spells. I have 7... And this would use all my mana to do this. But I guess it clears the top of my deck. Is that worth it? I could just cycle the Relic. I think I just want to cycle the Relic. Why would I want to win next turn when I could win this turn? Alright, so now I have 9 mana. So 9 mana means that I can Whir and still have 2 left over. Oh, and I can tap these, right? I forgot about that. So I have a few mana left over. Yeah, because I get to double Weather the Storm here, right? We might not even need these Weather the Storms, which is pretty funny. Yeah, we don't even need the Weather the Storms. The Reservoir is just gonna self-enable. That's pretty funny. Oh yeah, if they hadn't conceded here, I was gonna kill their board. I was gonna shoot both of these and then kill them. Yeah, if they hadn't conceded there, we were like 1000% killing their board. Not close. Alright, extra Nihil Spellbomb here is great, obviously. Yeah, this is probably a Leyline matchup, right? Just like shut down their discard spells. And then what do I want to cut? It's probably like this Pyrite Spellbomb. Welding Jar is probably pretty important against the Kolaghan's command deck. There's a green-black Citadel deck in Standard Dumping Truck. If you check out my Standard decks page, it's a Wild Growth Walker based deck. We've played it a ton. We don't need all the graveyard hate. Really? You don't think so? You meant a 1000-Year Storm variant. Well, there's a 1000-Year Storm deck we're going to play today in Standard. It's not particularly good, but we're going to do it. Yeah, maybe Sphere. Maybe Sphere comes out. I could see that. I also see this Mox being terrible. I'm going to cut the Mox rather than the Sphere, I think. Actually, I'm going to cut a Reshape. Let's do that. Let's do that. This just isn't good enough, right? There's no mana. They could kill or take these, and then I lose my Glimmervoid. There's no Leyline. Well, I mean, that's a hand. Okie-doke. As you will. Bye-bye, Lotus Bloom. I'm going to drop the Welding Jar into play here. Start activating the Relic to hammer their graveyard. Hey, Flying V, thank you for the 3 months. I appreciate the quarter of a year. Welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your week. So, I think I just get my hand empty here, just so, like, I'm immune to their discard spells moving forward if they draw them. So, like, get everything on the board. If I hadn't hit my second land drop, I'd cycle through something, but because I hit my second land drop, I feel like I should just do it right away. Just get everything out. Good to meet you too, Flying. All right, what do we got? Getting your hand empty also makes like Culligan's Command worse, and like Liliana the Veil if they have that card. Shattering Spree, rude. Getting a little bit punished for tapping out here. Alright, that's a land. I think I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice a star here. Could find like a Reshape or something. Citadel. Less than ideal. Getting a card stuck in my hand. I already played a land for the turn, so I'm not going to cycle these other two very aggressively. In blue-black mill. That's funny. Yeah, it probably is pretty okay in mill, huh? Now the question's gonna be, can we get our stuff together and still have enough life to go off before they kill us? I'm not sure that's gonna be the case here. I can't really beat that card, huh? This deck gets hit by... This deck gets hit by a lot of different hate cards. It gets hit by creature-based hate. And it gets hit by artifact hate. I guess it doesn't use its graveyard at least, so it's got that going for it. Like, you care about things like Eidolons and Campbell and stuff like that. Once you start going off, don't you gain life exponentially. Only if you have Aetherflux Reservoir and play random guy. And we only have one copy of Aetherflux Reservoir in our 75. So I know, like, in that first game, we had it and got to get going, but you're not always going to have it. I'm going to keep this. Wide Eyes, No Fear, Snap Keep. Alright, let's draw a Citadel. So, like, the problem is, if they have a problem permanent in play Nifty, I don't really have a good way to find the Echoing Truths. Like, I can't start comboing to get to the Echoing Truths. Manaless Storm, yep. Hey, Harbinger. Thanks for the 4 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. If we can find a land next turn and get to start deploying these artifacts, the Whir can turn into a Citadel here with these blooms. Oh no! Oh no! Our house of cards has come tumbling down around us. Oh no! This is modern, opponent. You're not supposed to interact with me. You're a monster. This was supposed to be a safe space, and you tore it asunder. Why? Oh no. They discarded Campbell and Liliana of the... Oh, they unearthed Campbell. Alright, I concede to you. Got it? I was like, wait, how'd the Campbell get into... Oh. Alright. Let's shake it off and try again here. We're 1-1. Those darn pesky fair interactive decks coming for us. Sure. Ding. We have a miser copy of Mox Tantalite. One singleton Tantalite. Oh, you know, maybe I'm supposed to lead on Nihil Spellbomb so it doesn't get Inquisition in a spot like this. Yeah, that's probably the case. Because I wish I had a Spellbomb to cycle next turn, so that way I could take their graveyard. If their shadow. Grixis shadow is probably impossible for this deck. Counter spells and discard spells in a fast clock tend to eat up spell-based combo like this one. And the big problem is with a matchup like this is like you need you need both anti-discard and anti-counterspell cards to, like, have a chance in a matchup here. And, like, we just can't really afford to board in that many things. Like, boarding in Defense Grid and Ley Lines is a big ask. Hey, Myth. Thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Flooded Strand. Maybe not Shadow. Could also be Esper Shadow. Could be Grixis Shadow with budget lands. Looks like Esper. Reshape, eh? I don't think I want to cast that because if it gets countered, I lose my Glimmervoid because my Chromatic Star goes away because sacrificing the artifacts is an additional cost. A Wolf Spider coming in hot with the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for shipping that my way this month. Teferi Time Raveler. That's actually really good against our suspend cards, huh? Like, not only does it bounce them, but it prevents us from casting them. Big fishing. Do 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 do. Beep, beep, do, 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 do. Notably here, my opponent exiled a Lingering Souls rather than tap this land. So it's probably a safe assumption that my opponent has a Stubborn Denial or some other type of counterspell here. Most likely Stubborn Denial. I would assume they're playing Esper Shadow at this point based on the cards I've seen them cast. So I can reshape for up to 3 here, but that doesn't really accomplish anything, right? So I think I'm just going to reshape for 2. And actually, I should use this to make mana. Because if this gets countered, I won't have another artifact. I won't have enough artifacts to activate this. Yep. Unsurprisingly, we get Stubborn Denial. We are at 27 here, so it means we have a little bit of time before we just die to the Gourmet Gangler. The problem is our combo requires us to have a little bit of life to get going. So, like, once they put us to 2, for instance, while we're not dead for, well, it takes 6 attacks to kill us here, we're effectively dead after 4 or 5, because we're not going to have enough life to actually churn through our deck. I'm still a mana short of casting a Citadel, should we draw one. Relic's actually not a terrible draw here because it cycles and it gets rid of the Stubborn Denial out of their graveyard, which means Snapcaster Mage is not a counterspell for them, which is nice. Atoa, thank you for the 2 months of support there. I appreciate you re-upping your Prime this way. Welcome back. All right, there's a Citadel. Hoping for a couple things to break our way here. Need them to not have a discard spell and us to draw a land next turn. Now, I went ahead and cycled the Relic right away there, because if we hit other 1-mana things, I wanted to get to them ASAP and cast them. Or if we hit a land, I wanted to play a land this turn, so that way the turn we play Citadel, if we drew it, we wouldn't have already played a land. Biscuit Man, thank you for the brand new Prime support. Good morning. Welcome to our new viewers. If you're someone who enjoys modern content, we start every day with 1 to 2 Magic Online leagues. So usually I go live about 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. And as always, if you're looking for when I'm streaming and what I'm streaming when, you can always find that on my schedule on my website. What do we think about this deck? I think it's doing something incredibly neat. I think I would also be kind of surprised if it is linear enough to be competitive against the other unfair decks in the format. Also, playing it against Mardu Pyromancer and now Grixis Shadow, I'm not sure I'm convinced that this deck really has the tools it needs to be competitive against a heavily interactive deck. Definitely feels like we've gotten picked apart in these last 2 matches, and I haven't had a lot of play to what I have going on. And like here, like I mentioned a second ago, it's like, well, do I board in Leylines to beat their discard spells and defense grid? So like, if I want to board in 8 cards, I have to cut a lot of things, right? Like maybe I cut Reshape just because it's not good against their counter spells. Pyrite Spellbomb doesn't do a whole lot. Maybe Tormod's Crypt. They probably don't have ways to destroy artifacts. I guess I could fit most of these in here. Maybe I just don't board in the 4th one of these. Because, like, I need to leave a pretty critical mass of these spells so I can, like, actually combo when we get going. Springsburg, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. And No Lava coming in hot with the 12 months. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your week. You do already have one. Yeah, the whole timing lineup on those things is super awkward. Hopefully they get that addressed at some point. All right, let's do it. If there was ever a game we could beat against an incredibly hard matchup like Shadow, it's this one, right? We got our 2 pieces of anti-disruption. We just need to draw some lands and a Citadel, and we'll be good to go. And I already have 5 mana sources, right? It's like 5 mana sources, double disruption. The green sword means someone is a moderator on the channel, Savage. When people have been subbed for a year, I give them a mod sword. So I think I'm actually going to go ahead and play Blaststone and just pass here, because they can't discard spell this out of my hand, and I'd rather not play this into a soft stub for one. Does deck play Bridge? Yeah, maybe. The problem with something like Bridge is, again, that every card, because this deck is going to see almost its entire deck when it combos, every card we put in our deck that's not helping enable our combo actively detracts from it. Also can't beat Stony Silence. Good. Excellent. Excellent. Good stuff. Good stuff. Counter spells, discard spells, Stony Silence. Yep. Never winning that one. I guess that does kill it, huh? I guess Blaststone does get rid of it. Whatever. I'm off it. I've moved on with my life. I gotta give the people that are only watching the videos for me to make mistakes something to complain about down in the comment section. I'm just thinking about the people that need to sustain themselves by being rude on YouTube. Yeah, comments have been enabled on my YouTube videos for almost a year now. Long time now. To set a hurdle that's incredibly low to jump across, my YouTube comments are actually less bad than Reddit, Twitter, and Twitch chat when it was open. So one of the upsides to the way in which I structure my content is I upload so many YouTube videos to YouTube per day that YouTube doesn't recommend my content very frequently to people because it basically thinks I'm posting spam because I post 4 to 7 videos a day that are an hour plus long. So a lot of the people who are commenting on my stuff on YouTube are people that most of them have specifically sought it out because it's me. Yes, yeah, a lot of the, especially modern related, like modern has a lot of people that are like super heavily invested in their pet deck of choice. And their pet deck of choice. So like when you make a mistake with their deck or you say that this deck doesn't seem very powerful or you're critical of it in any way, people get really upset and are very rude. Why were YouTube comments disabled? Because unlike a lot of the people in the world who like to write it off as it's impossible to moderate, in my opinion, if you are creating a space online for people to post things and people post hate and vitriol in the space that you're maintaining, that's your responsibility to clean it up. So I read every comment posted on my YouTube channel and I aggressively remove people who I feel are just spewing and aren't worth my time to be there. And the best part about removing people on YouTube is it doesn't even tell them that they've been banned. It basically just shadow bans them. It lets them sit there and post comments and their comments just don't show up on the channel. It's fantastic. Win Magus, thanks for the 2 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. Yeah. The only way to know if you're banned on a YouTube channel is for someone to look and see, like log out and look and see if your comments are showing up. All right, so I want to draw a land here, so of course I didn't. If we drew a land there, we would have been able to play Citadel, and then maybe we could have comboed them this turn. Yeah, a lot of the really bad modern decks are fun. Maybe I should have waited a turn on this Whir. Land. Perfect. See the shadow ban section? It's a long list of usernames at this point. Basically, anything that I would have timed someone out for saying in non-sub chat, I just remove people's ability to post on my YouTube channel if they say it. So anything lazy that's just like, sometimes if I'm feeling benevolent, I'll give them one chance, but a lot of the times it's just like, just get out of here. Oh, we got Force of Will. Lordy, this deck is bad. Oh, this deck is not good. Alright, we have infinite Citadel, so maybe one will resolve eventually. All right. Hey, Admiral, thanks for the 20 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. I feel like there's going to be a lot of people that watch this video that then log out on YouTube and realize they can't post comments on my YouTube channel. And unfortunately, I would bet money that a non-zero amount of people who are sub-tier probably have been removed, but unfortunately, I have no way to correlate Twitch subs to YouTube accounts. So, I apologize if you're someone who supports my content and can't post on the YouTube channel. No way for me to really track that. YOLO. If you found a good standard mill deck, standard doesn't really support good mill decks. I've had a couple of people submit them, so we're going to get to them in the deck queue, but they're probably not very good. Snap, Bolt, Snap. Thanks for the 15 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. Isn't there technically an infinite mill combo with Naru and Standard? Yay! Stony Silence! Alright, this deck's weird enough that I'm gonna give it one more shake here. We're gonna try and play the 5th match before we retire this deck and never do it again. Alright. Alright. If I give my Prime sub to someone else in the future, do I get kicked out of the subs Discord? Yeah, the subs Discord has a small grace period, but if you are not subscribed to the channel, you do get removed from the subscriber Discord automatically. I think it's like 5 or 6 days. Maybe it's a week. But the sub Discord is effectively priority support for people who pay my bills. Let's get cynical. Thank you for re-upping your Prime support here. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Morning, Zach. Can this deck be Narset Cannon tier? I don't think so. So, like, one of the things Narset Cannon does that's really appealing is it wins super fast. And while this deck is neat when it's combos, this deck really is not fast, especially for Modern. Like, this deck's best goldfishes are, like, winning on turn 3, which is just unbelievably slow. Or winning on turn... Maybe he can win on turn 3. I'm actually not even sure if it win on turn 3. It might be turn 4. Benefit from a trash for treasure package. I have no idea. For starters, you can't use the goblin with the Citadel unless you mean play literal trash for treasure. And part of the problem with making changes to this deck is the more expensive cards you put in this deck, the more risk you run of bricking off when you actually start comboing because you just have to pay too much life. Ransack the lab. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one in your hand, put the other 2 into your bin. Huh. Huh. Okay. Okay. Our main deck graveyard hate looking pretty good here. We're gonna whir for a Lotus Bloom and then hopefully do our thing next turn. Wonder if they're just playing Grishelbrand. Could be Goryo's Breach too. No, I have Nihil Spellbomb sitting in play. We're gonna work for a Lotus Bloom and then kill them. Hopefully. Yeah, today is kind of jank day for Standard. That's unfortunate. Usually want that one to gain more life than that. Yeah, honestly, Ransack might be better than Discovery Dispersal in Grishelbrand. It, like, lets you bin Grishelbrand if it's the third card, which is really neat. That's probably worth swapping, honestly, with the list that's on my site. Here we go. Here we go again. Here we go again. Should have known, should have known, should have known again. Do 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 do. Boo do boo boo. Boo do boo boo do boo boo do boo boo. Alright, so I'm gonna do this. And I'm gonna get a shuffle off my deck to do this. I go get the reservoir. I think this is lethal on its own. Yeah, it gains 30, and then the reservoir trigger gains 10. Triggers. I really need a resolve stack button, chat. I need a resolve stack button. Alright, if they don't concede, do I kill them or do I see how much life we can gain? All the life, excellent. I knew the answer to that question when I asked it, but I just wanted to be sure everybody else was at the same place as me. I would love to draw that island off the top of my deck. Thank you for asking. Do 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 do. Boo 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 boo. Oh no. Whew. Getting close there. Watch them cast, like, Angel's Grace. I guess that's fine, right? Technically. Oh no! My opponent's conceding! Oh no! Oh. I was still casting spells, opponent. Oh. Hey, well, they're obviously a graveyard combo deck, so I'll bring in the extra Nihil Spellbomb. We'll cut Pyrite Spellbomb, we'll click submit. If they're mostly graveyard based, we might be able to fumble our way through this with our 9 pieces of graveyard hate. So the win con for the deck is Aetherflux Reservoir. Yep, technically. Yeah, I guess Pithing Needle for Gristlebrand could be okay. I wasn't thinking about that. That was technically Disruption. It's a good call. This hand has Spellbomb in the opener, but like we have a lot of Graveyard Hate in our deck, and this hand does not have mana for these Citadels, so I think this is a mulligan. This hand is much better. It only has one land, but it has a scry, and it has the Graveyard Hate still, which is nice. Haha! Joke's on you, opponent. I cleverly left my Citadel on top of my deck. Kind of funny that they took that as opposed to the other Spellbomb. Because, like, all these cards cycle, right? So I would think you would want to... I would think you'd want to take the extra Graveyard Hate if they all draw a card. I guess this would technically cost one less mana to draw a card with. Hey, Mini Koopa. Sorry about that. Welcome back. I was watching Mardu Pyro on YouTube, but I realized he's probably live. I am, in fact. I'm doing a little bit less hours between now and the new set release, but still planning to be here 25, 30 hours a week. Just go back to my turn. I could, like, cycle these aggressively, but the problem with that is that I risk shutting off my Opal and not having anything to do. Technically should have cast this off of a colorless from Spire. Doesn't really matter. Looking for a land here. Perfect. That draw means if I keep these Mox Opals active and draw a land next turn, I can Citadel, which is great. The Water Park Hotel was really sweet. It was easily the best venue that I've ever played a Magic tournament in. Because, like, not only did the venue have a water park in it, but it also had, like, a bunch of different restaurants and, like, other random stuff for the kids to do. And, like, the food wasn't completely gouged like it is at, like, some theme park style attractions. Making through the breached here. We could be getting through the breached. We are getting through the breached on suspend 1. Got it. Probably dead next turn. That's true. The fact that I gained 2 life means we're not dead to Pig into Emrakul, which is pretty funny, because the Emrakul off the Pig doesn't trigger Annihilator, right? Which is sweet. But it does put us low enough that I effectively can't combo, right? Or they just have nothing. God bless. God bless. Hey, Cloud. Thank you for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. All right, they just have a 6/6. We might be able to beat just a 6/6. Need another Citadel here. Quick Silver Amulet. All right, so they're just like fully pivoting post-board out of the graveyard plan, which is an interesting strategy. I like it. Especially against a deck like ours, there's a ton of graveyard hate. I think I just pass here again. Because, like, the problem is, if I cycle through these other things here, I'm not going to have the mana with the Mox Opals to play Citadel if I draw it. So I'm hoping to rip Citadel next turn. And if I don't, I'm going to start cycling because I need to just see more cards. Reshape. That doesn't do it, right? It does cycle one of these artifacts. This is a good example of a spot where having at least one ensnaring bridge would be really good, right? Like if there was a bridge in my deck, I could get it here, and then my opponent wouldn't be able to. Oh, oops! Should have tap floated from this. If there cast time walk. If there was an ensnaring bridge, I could have fetched it here and then like had a bunch of time. So there probably should be one of those in the 75. I don't know that you want to play a whole bunch of them, but like with all our reshapes and whir effects, not having access to one bridge seems like a bit of a mistake. All right, they drew Gristle Pig. That's fine. We're likely dead anyways. Karn fetches artifacts, not colorless cards per se. And I think playing Karns in this deck is probably not good, because again, playing too many expensive cards means that when you get your Citadel into play, there's a higher probability chance that you're not going to be able to play through your deck. Hey, Shuffler Truther. Thanks for the 4 months. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good start to your week. Now, this hand is bad against Thoughtseize, but a lot of our hands are going to be bad against Thoughtseize. This hand has 2 cards that draw more cards, etc. So, pitch double Simian Spirit Guide, play Generator Servant. Sure. Okay. Yeah, 2 turns, Solar Lotus Blooms come off suspend. Oh, do they have a Thoughtseize too? All right, yep. We go and die. I can reshape a Citadel into play next turn, right? I'm gonna have 9, 10 mana. I only need 8 to reshape a Citadel into play. This match is peak modern, yep. Concur. Oh, this is wrong. I technically should sacrifice the Opal because I'm not going to be using it here. Because I could save that draw to clear card off the top of my deck later. So that could be relevant. Hopefully it won't be, but it definitely could be. So, I think I actually need to draw past this. Because I can't really afford to pay 6. Hey, Sodded. Thanks for the support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Uh-oh. 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 Whew. Whew. It was getting close there for a second, chat. We were getting dangerously close to the edge. We did it. We did it. We did it. Hooray! Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Blast yourself, send a message. Yeah. So this deck's neat. It's doing a kind of interesting thing. I don't think, even if, like, a lot of times we talk about new decks like this, we'll often say, this obviously is going to take some time to figure out, and, like, if it gets optimal, maybe it'll be good. I would be very surprised if this archetype could ever be tier 1, truly competitive in this format. It cares about too many things. It cares about random Eidolons, another hate card, Stony Silences. The fact that it needs its life total to go off means that random aggro decks pressuring it are bad for it. It is fun, though, and you can win some matches with it. I do think this deck would be pretty greatly improved by fitting 1 to 2 Ensnaring Bridge into the 75. I definitely think we would have won some of the games that we lost if we had just had access to a, hey, here's my thing, you can't attack, give me time to find my Citadel, because this deck is pretty reasonable at getting its hand empty a lot of the time. So I might try and, like, cut, like, the Implement of Improvement, or, like, the Tormod's Crypt, or a Pyrite Spellbomb from the main to put a bridge in the main and then maybe a second bridge in the sideboard somewhere, just so you, like, have a little bit better chance of those matchups where people are, like, really attacking you with creatures. All right, we're gonna go ahead and roll